Apologize for some of the audio technical difficulties we've had at the outset. BW leads 1-0 on an early goal from Mike Nanoski. So the Jackets take it back after the turnover. Baldwin Wallace 10-2, Otterbein 7-7, and both teams honestly feel like this is a desperate win for them tonight as we get a flag thrown on the far side of the field. I wonder if it may go on Otterbein for an illegal substitution. Since BW has the ball and they haven't stopped play, you would imagine that the penalty would be on the Cardinals. We'll see if BW can take advantage of it. Nanoski's goal earlier was his 24th of the season. Andrews tries to circle behind the cage. He looks for a spot to fling it in there, but a beautiful high stick save. And the whistle blows for our stoppage. That's one of the things that James Gunling does very well. He's one of the top goaltenders in the conference, and it's because he makes plays like that rather consistently. Gunling right now giving up goals on just less than half the shots thrown his way. 52% his save percentage. DeZono, his top save percentage in the conference is at 58%. So more often than not, when you get a good look on net, it's at least more than 1 out of every 2 times it's going to find the back of the cage. Opening quarter of play, Jackets in white, Otterbein in red. Good ball movement around the exterior of the defense, although Nanoski couldn't handle the pass cleanly, and it's scooped up by Grumman. Loose on the turf over there, and it is Otterbein ball. Jason Tarno, the 5th-year head coach for BW, looking for an OAC championship. Cardinals control it in the midfield. They circle around. That's Justin McKee, the freshman from Delaware. Colin Hartnett, the head coach for the Otterbein Cardinals. His team the last several years has been really, really good. And the Cardinals right there again this year. They've played a tough non-conference schedule. Winners of 4 games in a row, including a non-conference affair against St. Vincent earlier this week. And they have had some very high-scoring offensive days. But they've challenged themselves out of conference, and that's why they're 7-7 on the season. But BW's defense, the top defense in the country, and it's going to be a good test for them tonight. John Clay Storner denied going toward the left side, so he brings it back up top. Sanfilippo flips it over to Brendel. And Brendel gets it right back. The penalty, by the way, was on Connor Jevitt. He was offside, and so it was a 1-minute extra man opportunity for BW. They did not score, though. And at the moment, I don't see Jevitt out on the field. Actually, I beg your pardon. That was Jevitt who had the ball in a stick there. It looked like 30 instead of 38. I apologize. Five minutes into the game, BW with a 1-0 lead. It's a beautiful night in Northeast Ohio, a little cool. Temperatures around 50 degrees. Moderate wind in Otterbein's face at the moment. No flag thrown. The ball finally jarred free. And then a whistle. All right, so it is Otterbein ball. Baldwin Wallace nearly jarred it out of there. This BW defense, so tough to crack. Brian Musial on the far side, a senior who is not often part of the starting lineup but sees a ton of minutes, was right there to get in the way. That was Michael Dickey trying to make life difficult on Jevitt, and Connor misfires. Jevitt with 42 goals and 11 assists on the season. He might be the most electrifying offensive player in the conference. A mishandled pass. Gombito was able to pick it back up. Mike Nanoski with the only goal so far. Jackets up by 1, but Otterbein trying to equalize things early. Brendel going to his right, lets it go a little high, just over the top of the bar. Still with the Cardinals. On the restart, Chandler Schwartz trying to evade the pretty shifty Michael Dickey, who uses that long stick pretty well. Knocked toward the top of the key there. Gombita fired it into the middle. Baldwin Wallace picks it up. Boy, some tough play in the back. Sanfilippo making life a little more difficult. And Otterbein refutes the clear attempt. Still loose on the turf. We've seen a lot of shoulder pushing back and forth between these two. It's been pretty physical in the first few minutes. A bounced shot wide left of the net from Jevitt. Kind of sense BW's energy on the defensive end of the field as they try to get things going here early in the game. Several new subs check in and out. 8:42 left in our opening quarter. As Mike DeZono, goaltender, running all the way up the field. And at some point, we might see a timeout, and we do. Jason Tarnow decides that with his keeper that far out of net, he may as well burn one. So we'll step aside along with them with 8:31 left in the opening quarter. BW 1, Otterbein nothing here on BWYellowJackets.com. Tonight's Yellow Jacket lacrosse game brought to you by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. By Domino's Pizza in Berea. You can order online at domino's.com. Or by the Ohio Education Credit Union. Gain the advantage and build your future today. Mike Nanoski's 24th goal of the season. Makes it 1-0 here in the first quarter, about midway through. BW hosting Otterbein tonight in a big conference clash late in the regular season. In fact, it's the penultimate game of the regular season. Beautiful sliding save, loose in front of the cage, and BW picks it up. Nanoski, number 2. Beautiful job sticking with the play, and Nanoski rifles it past. And BW has an early 2-0 lead at home. That's his 25th goal of the season. And again, it comes after a key save from James Grundling. But BW just continue to stick with it on the offensive end. So a good start for the Yellow Jackets, but it's plenty early against a very talented Otterbein team. In fact, Otterbein scores 13 goals per game, so by no stretch is this going to be a one-sided game, at least from what we can expect on paper. And certainly the competitive nature of it here in the first 7 minutes. Nobody's been able to pick that ball up cleanly. And finally, Otterbein gets rid of it. 7:47 left in our first quarter. If you joined us a little bit late, I'm Brendan Gulick. Thanks for tuning in tonight from Baldwin Wallace. The last game of the regular season is set, at least for BW, against Mount Union. They will play at Mount Union down in Alliance, and they'll play that game later this week on Wednesday. It'll be a big one for the Yellow Jackets. If they win tonight and win in Alliance, they are guaranteed to host a playoff game. And remember, only the top 4 teams in the OAC make the tournament in the postseason. John Carroll having beaten Baldwin Wallace and still having an undefeated record. They hold the inside track to the number 1 overall seed. But BW would be able to host at least one game in that conference semifinal should they get there. Gombita trying to go to his left. He just didn't handle it cleanly. Josiah Grieve doing everything he can to get it out of there. And the ball was finally rolled on the turf back near midfield. Stays with Otterbein, but that's where BW plays very well defensively. Cole McCleary was trying to bust on San Filippo a little bit. Here's Brendel. High scoring area, but he was checked away twice. Boy, look at the BW sideline, jazzed up with the way things went. It stays with the Otterbein Cardinals, but that was a tremendous effort. Andrew Spiker checking in, the senior from Erie, trying to reinforce the defense. Actually, I beg your pardon, that was Jared Gilliam that ran on. Gilliam playing there as the shot came low and wide from Brendel. Stays with the Cardinals. We're at the 6:10 mark of the first quarter. Otterbein's had a few close calls. Certainly let some shots go. But so far, 0 for 6. Into the middle, tough area, and a nice job getting in the way by a couple defenders, not giving Brendel a clear look. He's also a dangerous goal scorer, more than 20 on the season. Otterbein wants to attack from the right. Gombita hits the pole and bounces clear. No goal. Loose on the turf, and the ground ball scooped up by Gilliam. Here he comes. And he decides to let the offense set up. So a successful clear attempt for BW. A chance to add to their 2-0 lead late in the first quarter. Haven't seen much yet tonight from Chad Steinwalks, who's been tremendous offensively this year. He controls the ball here, looking for somebody cutting through the middle. An open, fired shot, low left and a goal for Griffin Dunkel. The freshman from Amherst, New York. 3-0 Baldwin Wallace, and it's Otterbein who wants to talk about things. 10 minutes into the game, and on the scoreboard, it's been one-sided. Though Otterbein has played well so far, they've had several chances, just haven't capitalized. Back for more in a minute here on BWYellowJackets.com. Tonight's Yellow Jacket lacrosse game brought to you by the Hoffman Group. They're an Oswald company, and they handle all of your insurance and risk management needs. By Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of BW, and by the Comfort Inn in Middleburg Heights, where your comfort is just a part of the service we provide our guests. BW with a somewhat comfortable lead in the opening 10 minutes of the game. 2 goals from Mike Nanoski and 1 from Griffin Dunkel, who scored for just the 6th time this season. Flag is thrown high into the air. And for a stoppage. Looks like maybe Alex Fiorito was in malcontent. See what happens here. By the way, our officials are Neil Brokman, Tim Hurlbutt, and Jim Rice. It is Yellow Jacket ball. Baldwin Wallace has only dropped 1 home game all year. That came to John Carroll in their most recent home contest 10 days ago. And the Blue Streaks came roaring back in the second half to beat a first half riled up, but sort of a dormant second half Yellow Jacket team. Nanoski looking for number 3, and somehow he went 5-hole. 4-0 BW, and Nanoski is on fire in the first quarter. The sophomore from Medina having quite a start to the night. That ties him with Chad Steinwalk's his 26th goal of the year. Leads the team in that regard. And he's already off to one of the best conference games he's had in 2017. James Gunling not particularly off to a good start, and he is not the only goaltender for Otterbein. See a couple of them maybe warming up on the far side. Looks like Matt Niemi is getting loose along with Connor Hinson. Hinson has played quite a bit. Great defense from Baldwin Wallace's Alex Uhas jars it free. Still with Otterbein though. 4-0 BW. 4:03 left in the opening quarter. And Otterbein is feeling a little bit punched in the mouth. Colin Tressel has it near side. A chance up top. Mose had it deflected into the net of Baldwin Wallace's Brian Janzinski. Love having the long stick. Here come the Jackets quickly up the field. Into the middle, and the ball was jarred free just as Gilliam tried to get the shot off. Excellent defense, or else it might have been 5-0. I know he was probably joking, but maybe not. Talked with head coach Jason Tardo before the game very briefly and asked him if he had a big key to the game. And he looked at me and he smiled and said, "Score more goals than Otterbein." Well, he's off to a good start. Ian Mose on the far side. Tough defense from Dickey. And he turns away John Clay Storner. Well done. Troxel trying to run the point. Pass into the middle, deflected. Josiah Grieve trying to get to it, and he gets it into his net. BW a chance to successfully clear it here. Both teams have had their early chances. In fact, BW is being outshot 9-8, but it's the Jackets who've made their shots count. 4-0 lead. DeZono gives it up. A quick shot. It's deflected away, and DeZono has to haul it all the way back down to the defensive end and get between the pipes. He'll be catching his breath for a moment after running basically a 60-yard dash, but he got back to defend. Final minute 34 of the first quarter. Mose, right-handed by nature, trying to go to his right, and he just can't get a good shot off as he's beaten around by Cole McClary. An insatiable appetite defensively, trying to get to the ball, and Otterbein turns it over. Tremendous effort. Here comes DeZono again. Finally gets rid of it. Perhaps a little winded. DeZono jogs his way back toward the cage. Nanoski with less than a minute to go. We're at 48 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Steinwalks. Chad fires it over to the near side. Maybe a look here for Matt McDowell. Into the middle and another goal. This time it's Brock Riemenschneider. 5-0 Jackets. Otterbein a little shell-shocked. Baldwin Wallace's defense has shown up tonight. 10 shots so far, and the Cardinals haven't scored yet. BW's put 5 of their 10 shots in the back of the pipes. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter as Fiorito wins the faceoff. Races, shoots, and it's deflected low and wide. Still with BW here as they keep the foot on the gas pedal in the final 19 seconds of the quarter. Steinwalks with 10 seconds. Couple spin moves, and he just missed outside wide right of the net. With 4 seconds left. The clock winds. Into the middle. The quick bounced shot misses a little bit low from Fiorito. And that ends the first quarter. Mike Nanoski with 3 goals in the opening 11 minutes. And BW has a 5-0 lead over an Otterbein team that's only been set back once so far in conference play. Second quarter action coming up next in Berea. Tonight's Yellow Jacket lacrosse game brought to you by Cleveland Clinic Sports Health, the official healthcare provider for BW Athletics, and by American International. If you require a company with proven performance, rely on American International. After one quarter, Baldwin Wallace is dominating Otterbein 5-0, at least dominating on the scoreboard, though statistically speaking, it's not all that one-sided. In fact, Otterbein is only until the last couple of minutes, they've outshot BW. Now the Yellow Jackets have a 13-10 lead in that category as we start the second quarter, and Fiorito wins yet another faceoff. Having trouble scooping it up, it finds Nanoski's stick though. Baldwin Wallace has won 5 of the 7 faceoffs, and they've picked up 7 of the 11 ground balls as Nanoski bounces one in again. His 4th. And James Gundling can't believe it. He's given up 6 goals in 15 minutes. The Otterbein senior having a tough night. Well, Baldwin Wallace knew coming into this game they could make a real statement tonight. Otterbein's remaining schedule is brutal. They finished the year playing the top 3 teams in the conference aside from themselves. They played John Carroll, BW, and Ohio Northern. Obviously not in that order, but those top 3 teams are the last 3 games of the regular season. And that's certainly going to make life difficult for Otterbein, even though this has been a pretty good program in the OAC over the last few years. Sanfilippo finally gets one to go from the far side. A quick trigger shot. Otterbein on the board at 6-1. And the Cardinals come to life on Sanfilippo's 21st of the year. It's an Otterbein team that scores 13 goals per game. You knew that they weren't going to get shut out, but they obviously can't afford to dig themselves too much deeper of a hole early in the game. You never want to spot a home team several goals at the outset. So it's an uphill climb for the Cardinals, but they've got a lot of game left in front of them. We are still very early into the second quarter. In fact, 2 goals have come in the first 36 seconds of the second period. On the restart, Cole McClary. Trying to run away from the defense with the long stick. Here's Alex Uhas. Janoski back to a cutting teammate in the middle. That was Alex Binner who lost it. And on the near side, it's jacket ball. Well, admittedly, on the live stats, they have given credit to Connor Jevitt for the goal, but I thought Jevitt was off the field. He just checked on about 10 seconds ago. He could have checked out after scoring, but I certainly didn't think that he had scored that goal. I may have misspoke, though. I apologize if that was the case. So Jevitt credited with his 43rd of the year. Riley Mann denied. That'll help James Gundling. Gives him a little bit of They're saying Sanfilippo assisted on Jevitt's goal. Otterbein on the offensive end. Waiting and waiting for the right unit to get out there, and then Sanfilippo reinitiates. Controlled for the moment by Ian Mose. Passes up top. This is Brendel. Wow, a quick catch and shoot. Connor Jevitt barely had it in his stick long enough to get rid of it. It was almost like he just tried to redirect it. But the Jacket defense holds. Another good save from Mike DeZono, who's had a nice start to the game. 3 minutes into the second quarter, and it's Baldwin Wallace leading by a handful. Janoski on a chilly but otherwise calm night in Northeast Ohio. Exchanges a few passes with Alex Binner. These two teams are both fighting to get into the conference tournament. Neither is guaranteed a spot yet, but the winner of tonight's game will be in a tremendous position with 1 game to go in the OAC's regular season, at least on BW's schedule. Otterbein with 2 games left after tonight. A bounce shot, and another one finds the back. Griffin Dunkel has his 7th. That's a nice answer by Baldwin Wallace. After surrendering the goal about 3.5 minutes ago, they don't let Otterbein get any momentum. Baldwin Wallace stymies that, and they come up with a big one. $11:19 left in the first half. Griffin Dunkel with his 2nd of the game, but just his 7th of the season. In fact, Dunkel is only playing in his 8th game in 2017. Fiorito's usually pretty good at face-offs. He wins another one here. Thomas Mesh gives it over up to the top. This is Musial. Back to Mesh. Good defense from Calabash. Matt McDowell. Waiting for the crack in the defense to open. He explodes past the defender. Gives it up top. Andrews just a little low and left. Shuffled it toward the net. Gundling tried to make the stick save, but while he never touched it, it did not get past him. Brock Riemenschneider scored his 18th goal of the year earlier. He is on the offensive attack here. Riley Mann, the left-handed pass up top. McDowell didn't get a good look. Riemenschneider lost control of the ball, and it's picked up by Otterbein. Great defense. Mike Davidson, the junior, helped jar it free. And Otterbein is quickly getting up the field. Logan Murphy fires it over to Jevitt. A pass in front, and it's deflected away. Janzinski got his stick on it. Big play by the BW defender as Riley Mann that's Derek Andrews that got knocked off his feet. Somehow he never lost the ball and popped right back up. Good for him. 9:25 left in the first half. BW spotted 6 goals to start the game. They lead it 7-1. McDowell lets it go, and he scores! 18th for McDowell. 8-1 BW. (9:10) left in the second quarter, and the Jackets are starting to run away with this one. Otterbein really hasn't gotten much offensively this quarter yet. They've only taken 2 shots total. Only 1 on goal, and that one went in from Connor Jevitt. The face-off controlled, and here they come once more. Nanoski deflected up and away. He wanted another one. Already with 4. Oh, beautiful job intercepting the pass up top. But a poor pass after Justin McKee grabbed it defensively. His pass errantly thrown, looking for Chandler Swartz. And the Jackets take it back. James Gundling still manning the cage as the first half has only 8 minutes plus remaining. But a couple of his teammates have started to get loose. DeZono, the goalkeeper, up on the offensive end, gives to Nanoski, who shoots it into the Gundling stick. DeZono has to hurry up the field. A quick shot coming from a long distance, and it's in. Joe Sanfilippo from more than 30 yards away rips one to the back of the cage. And the dangerous play from DeZono coming all the way up offensively pays off for Otterbein in a big way. Boy, Joe Sanfilippo made that look a lot easier than it is, folks. More than 30 yards away from the net, and he threw a line drive missile undeflected into what's relatively a small target from that distance. Nicely done. You got to have a lot of confidence to pull that kind of a shot off. So Sanfilippo has assisted and now scored on the offensive end. Joe Taggin, sophomore from Kettering, on the offensive end. Gives to McKee, who loses his feet, loses the ball, but a whistle. We've got a timeout. Baldwin Wallace 8, Otterbein 2, but some life for the Cardinals. 7:40 left in the second quarter. We'll be right back at Tressel Field. Tonight's Yellow Jacket lacrosse game brought to you by the Crown Plaza in Middleburg Heights. If you're looking for a quality place to stay before or after any Yellow Jacket contest, choose the Crown Plaza. Otterbein burns its second timeout here of the first half. They trail 8-2, and they have the ball on the offensive end, but again, they've got a lot of ground to make up. This is Connor Jevitt, the most dangerous goal scorer in the conference, and he is guarded by BW's best defender, Josiah Grieve. Otterbein got a quick goal in transition, and they scored when DeZono was out of position as DeZono tried to make a kick save on a shot that was fired low and left, and it was picked up by Brian Janzinski. So BW gets the ball back at the 7-minute mark of our second quarter. If you tuned in a little bit late, these two teams both really need tonight's game as the conference season goes into its final week. Offsides on Baldwin Wallace, and the Jackets have to hurry back. Otterbein has it. They've got an open opportunity, but the ball was juggled by Ian Mose. That is a tough loss for Otterbein. Not saying they would have scored, but boy, that was from point-blank range. How quickly can BW respond? Donoski, he's already got 4 first-half goals, being bothered here by Grumman. Binner never controlled it. And it's apparently Otterbein ball. Cardinals in red. The home Yellow Jackets in white. Otterbein's been one of the top teams in the OAC each of the last couple years, and with respect to Mount Union, this is the top remaining test for Baldwin Wallace here in 2017 in the regular season. Mount Union's men's lacrosse team okay, but at 2-4 in conference, they're unlikely to make the OAC tournament. Hard left-handed shot from Spingola, a little off to the side. Otterbein maintains possession. Sanfilippo gives it up. High scoring area, and it's picked up after being bobbled away. BW had it for just a moment, but Brendel knocked it back to his teammate Mose. Otterbein with less than 5 minutes to go. Fires one low and into the corner. It's a goal for Anthony Spingola. The junior from Chicago just beats Mike DeZono. Otterbein's attack unit all talking about how they want to continue this momentum. Even though BW leads by 5, Otterbein doesn't feel like they're that far out of the game. They've played much better here in the second quarter. Fiorito down to a knee for the faceoff. Definitely BW's best faceoff man. Brandon Arbogast, the faceoff specialist for the Otterbein Cardinals, who have it on the defensive end here. Gunling with a long, accurate pass up the field. Derek Petrucci fires it away to the far side. And back to BW with 4:29 left in our second quarter. (8-3) Baldwin Wallace. DeZono once again out of net. Last time he did this, BW gave up a goal. He is getting beaten by Otterbein. And now Judson Houston and company regain possession. Steinwalk's trying to be patient offensively, waiting for DeZono to get back there. Must be a beautiful sunset tonight because the sky off to the east reflecting the sun setting behind us in the west. A whole cascade of colors. It's a beautiful spring, late April night. Can BW find a way for a 9th first half goal? Judson Houston wants to let it go. He just can't pull the trigger. Stein walks to the far side. Dunkel looking for a hat trick. Little shovel pass up top. Houston back to Dunkel with 3 minutes to play. Ben Kubiak back up top. Judson Houston lets it go, and he with a blind shot beats Gundling. 9-3 BW. It was all about trying to find the right alignment defensively. Everything he could do to shield Gundling's eyes, and then he put one on a bounce into the bottom left corner. Baldwin Wallace has lived up to the hype tonight. Otterbein at 4-1 in the OAC with their only loss at Capital. It was a good program, but a team that BW handled with a 10-4 victory here about 2 weeks ago. They are facing against a BW team that a lot felt out of conference might be rather weak because of their strength of schedule. BW's non-conference opposition has not been particularly strong. Their scoring margin is very wide. They are the nation's best defense as the flags go flying. But every time BW has a chance, that one jarred loose in front. And we might get a foul on BW right in front there. Yep, there's the stop it. So look down their man down defense onto the field. Anyways, every time a team has come here to Berea and tried to knock BW off, only one has had success in doing that, and John Carroll. The Blue Streaks won that game by a 2-goal difference, and in large part to some controversy. The Blue Streaks chose to check Michael Dickey's stick late in the game, and apparently Dickey's stick did not meet the required measurements. It was a 3-minute penalty, and BW gave up 2 goals in the 3 minutes he was off the field, and that was the difference. It was a tough blow, and BW would love to have another chance at John Carroll for an OAC championship, but time will tell if that'll come or not. 2 minutes left in the first half. Otterbein trying to get a little bit closer. It has not been a great first half for them. Quick pass into the middle. It was right on target, and Jevitt finished it off from in front of the cage. Joe Sanfilippo and Connor Jevitt have single-handedly kept Otterbein breathing as they've resuscitated the offense here in the first half. Just 1:39 remaining before the break. Finally picked up by BW. It's Musial. Mesh. No available shot, so he gives it away. Just over a minute to play. Matt McDowell. Can't seem to get it around Grumman. Still possessing. Finally passes over to Alex Binner. Riley Mann at the top. Derek Andrews. He shot it too far left. Stays with the Jackets. Steinwalk starts it with 42 seconds. And Baldwin Wallace calls timeout. So with 30 seconds left before halftime, BW will ask for a stoppage. They want to make sure they get the best look they can as they try to score a 10th first half goal. Final 30 seconds coming your way next on BWYellowJackets.com. Jason Tarnow asked for a timeout for Baldwin Wallace, and he gives them a chance to draw something up, if you will, for the final 30 seconds of our first half. If you tuned in a little late, Mike Nanoski has led the way with 4 first-half goals, including the first 2 quickly for BW. They lead by a total of 9-4, and the Jackets started the game with a 6-0 edge. Can they add one more before halftime? It was deflected over the top of the defense. Still loose in front of a dangerous spot and finally picked up by Gunling. He flings it as far as he can, and it will bounce over the cage, and that will effectively end the first half. Back to BW here with just 3 seconds left, but probably won't see anything of it. So Otterbein's defense holds strong. And DeZono sends it all the way up the field. There's the horn. Baldwin Wallace with a strong statement in the first half. 6 unanswered goals to start the game, and they lead it 9-4 at the break. A win for BW moves them into the season's final game with only 1 loss. Destiny to a home game in the conference tournament. 9-4 Jackets at the break. We'll have the second half when we come back in just about 10 minutes on BWYellowJackets.com. Tonight's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game brought to you by Parkway Auto Care in Berea, Strongsville Express Tire Automotive, and Montville Express Tire and Automotive. They serve the southwestern suburbs of Greater Cleveland. And by the Courtyard by Marriott and Town Place Suites in Middleburg Heights. Hope you'll join us at some point soon, just down the road here at Baldwin Wallace. We're about to start the second half with BW out front of Otterbein 9-4. But this high-scoring Otterbein team knows that the game is far from over. Brendan Gulick with you. It's been a fun game so far tonight. Both teams honestly feeling like it's a must-win. And on the bad face-off, it goes to Baldwin Wallace. The Jackets have outshot Otterbein 22-17. They've had 10 more shots on goal. In fact, 9 of BW's 18 shots on goal have gone in the back of the cage. James Gundling did not have a particularly good first half. The senior just flat out didn't play very well. But he is back out there to start the second half on what is becoming a much cooler night. Meanwhile, BW with a couple of bad passes gives Otterbein the real first offensive chance here of the second half. So we settle in. Mike DeZono, he's allowed 4 goals. He's made 4 saves. But he's played the entire game so far as well. He's been the most effective goalkeeper in the OAC here in 2017. The highest save percentage, the lowest goals against average. What does BW have in the tank here in the second half, though, as the Otterbein Cardinals try to heat things up on the offensive end? Mike Brendel wants to get it started. Finally, a flag is thrown at the top of the offensive set. It's going to be on BW, whatever the call is, as play continues. Gombita gives it up top. Nice stick work. Wide shot. Comes back up top. BW has to reset. And that one gets rifled over the top of the cage. Baldwin Wallace defensively will pick up the penalty, and they'll have to bring up the man-down defense. BW's man-down defense is ranked in the top 3rd in the country. They are 80th out of 233 teams. They're able to keep their opponents at bay just about 3 out of every 4 times. But the one time so far tonight that Otterbein has had a man up, they've scored. And they have a chance here to try to get one back. Cardinals will certainly be patient. There's a lot of game left, but down by 5, how patient truly can you be? And when you miss opportunities, that certainly doesn't help. BW picks it up. Greed gives it back. The official penalty was a slashing call on Cole McClary. Michael Dickey clears it successfully. He still has it on the offensive end, but he's finally lost control of the ball. It's picked up by, I believe that was Andrews. Here's Gilliam, gives it away. Chad Steinwalks. No, it was Alex Binner that picked up that ground ball earlier. Steinwalks puts the ball directly into Matt McDowell's stick. Back at full strength now. From the top, Riley Mann. Wants to let it go, just can't do it yet. Finally let one fly, but didn't quite get everything behind it. BW keeps possession. Steinwalk spun, lost the ball. Ground ball still loose. Jarred free again. Otterbein picks it up. It's in the stick of Derek Petrucci, and he steps out of bounds. Back to BW. McDowell on the restart. Andrews lost it. It's in the back of the cage and picked up. New goalie has come on for Otterbein. It's senior Connor Hinson. Hinson did not start the second half in goal. Or if he did, he had a pair of black pants on and must have taken those off quickly when I wasn't looking. I am pretty sure that Gundling started the second half and Hinson has now come on in his place. 9-4 BW. Cardinals waiting. Brendel. Far side now in Gombita. Patiently working it around the back. About 5 minutes into the third quarter. Otterbein down a handful. Who will strike first here in the second half? Gombita gives it near side. Spingola scored in the first half, but his first shot of our second period misses wide to the right. Otterbein trying for their 5th win in a row. They have not lost since a loss to the Capital Crusaders, who are located only about 20 minutes away from Otterbein's campus in Westerville, if that. Boy, some nifty stick work in the middle by Jevitt, but somehow he just lost it. And BW's defense comes up with yet another takeaway. Wins over Muskingum, Mount Union, Wilmington, and a non-conference win against St. Vincent back on April 18th. Those are the most recent victories for the Otterbein Cardinals. Otterbein and BW both dominated St. Vincent. Otterbein beat them 15-6 last week. BW beat St. Vincent 20-2. Steinwalks lost it, and so here come the Cardinals. Slightly more defensive third quarter to this point. We'll try to give you an update from around the OAC when we get a chance here momentarily. There are several other games in conference tonight. Well, we've got a quick lull in the action, so we'll bring it to you here quickly. Mount Union beat Muskingum 13-6 earlier today. Capital throttled Heidelberg 20-3 as DeZono makes a tremendous save. And John Carroll got past Ohio Northern 11-8. The Blue Streaks have 2 games left in the regular season. They'll play Heidelberg, who they should have no problem with. And then John Carroll closes the season at Otterbein. That'll be a tough test for the Blue Streaks. This is a pretty good Otterbein team, even though tonight they haven't played all that well on the offensive end. Halfway through the third quarter, neither team has scored, and time is on BW's side, even though there's still a lot of it. Both teams have had some opportunities, but not any really good shots. That last one from Otterbein was probably their best look of this second half so far, but the shot was directly straight at Mike DeZono. Judson Houston. Kubiak can't find an opening. A cutting Houston. The ball is deflected and saved. Great reflexes by Connor Hinson. It's up to Matt Isley now and the offense for Otterbein to make something happen here as Nanoski runs off for BW. Replaced for a moment by Gilliam. Reinforcements for Otterbein 2 as Anthony Spingola checks in. 6:15 and ticking here in the third period. Cardinals get the group they want, and here they come. Brendel. Long pass up top. Gombita to his left. Denied away. Kubiak, well. Good spacing in the middle. Brendel can't find an opening. Back up top to Spingola. Gombita can't find an opening either. Look at BW defensively. There's just nothing Otterbein can find. Some fans are yelling to put Otterbein on the shot clock, but I don't think that's necessary here. They're not stalling, they just can't find an opening. Maybe one here though. Beautiful play, shot saved, picked up by BW. Chandler Swartz from a great angle missed it because DeZono made a tremendous effort. Now Houston bounces it low and wide left. Still with BW. An exciting sequence there as Baldwin Wallace nearly put one in on the offensive end after a great defensive effort. This is the biggest game in the OAC so far tonight, and this third quarter has been kind of a nail-biter. Neither team has scored after a high-scoring first half. Riley Mann. Nanoski looking. He's already scored 4 tonight. Andrews puts it in! Finally, Derek Andrews finds the back of the twine. So Baldwin Wallace with a 10-4 lead. It's the first goal of the second half. Comes with 4:08 left in the third quarter. Fiorito trying to grab the loose ball on the faceoff, but it rolls instead to Ian Mose. Mose trying to protect the ball as best he can. But pretty good work there from Alex Uhas to jar it free for a moment. Still picked up by Otterbein, but then the turnover. Some quick changes for the Cardinals. BW 10-2, and they are really on a roll. One hiccup against John Carroll, but other than that, they've been perfect against D3 opponents after a season-opening loss to Division I Cleveland State. And even though Cleveland State is in its first year, that's a full scholarship team, so it would definitely be a high challenge. In fact, the opening 2 games of the season for Cleveland State came against Michigan and Duke. Nice save by Hinson on the quick wrister from the top. Riley Mann on the shot. So Cleveland State definitely was not a fluke loss for BW, and the Jackets fared okay. They lost the game 9-2. Plus, it's the first game of the season when you're not really in a rhythm. But from that point moving on, BW has been one of the best teams in college lacrosse. And they have been in double figures every single game except for an 8-3 win at Transylvania and a 10-8 loss against John Carroll. Other than that, they have scored 10 or more goals, and in many cases, 15 or more goals. Well, they're at 10 late in the third quarter here. Mose goes off to his right, gives to Jake Tagan. Back up top, Gombita. Haven't seen a lot of Connor Jevitt lately. Jevitt had it and passed it near side now. Always a threat, Jevitt with 44 goals on the season and 2 tonight. Leads the conference in that regard. Nobody touched it. That's Baldwin Wallace ball. So the Jackets with a 6-goal lead. Less than 90 seconds left in our third quarter. DeZono, the goalkeeper, comes up offensively. Really feeling the pressure from Otterbein's defense. Jason Tarno's been screaming for a timeout, and he finally gets it. We'll step aside with 1:02 left in the third period here on BWYellowJackets.com. (10-4) Baldwin Wallace with just over a minute left in the third quarter on what has been a very busy day at George Finnie Stadium. The 48th annual Sparky Adams Invitational was held here this afternoon, a track and field competition. Baldwin Wallace, how about check this out? The BW women did not win a single race today, but they won the team competition because they competed so well in all the field events. So the Jackets with a Sparky Adams Invitational Championship on the ladies' side. They are all getting ready for the OAC Championship meet, which will be hosted at Muskingum next weekend. Prelims on Friday, the championship events held on Saturday, and we'll cover that for you with lots of post-race interviews or post-field event interviews on BWYellowJackets.com. Meanwhile, on the lacrosse field, Alex Binner hits it off the iron. How did that not go in? 18 seconds left, third quarter. No one's in net. Still loose on the ground, and after that high stick, the flag goes flying high in the air. Otterbein has a man injured at the moment. It's Benny Tobias, the freshman, who's on all fours, slow to get up to his feet. Play does not stop until now. The final horn ends the third period. Only one goal was scored in the third quarter, and it belonged to Baldwin Wallace. They push it to a 6-goal advantage, 10-4, thanks to Derek Andrews. Fourth quarter coming next on BWYellowJackets.com. Tonight's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game brought to you by Valley Ford Truck. If you need a big job done right, call Valley Ford Truck. We carry the load for BW. Start of the fourth quarter has BW on the defensive end and a stick save on the bottom side as the ball kind of rolled toward DeZono in the cage. Baldwin Wallace opened the game with 6 unanswered goals, and since then we've played an even match, but such a hot start for BW. They took advantage of a couple early opportunities, and it has been all Jackets. Speaking of all Jackets, that was nearly a bad, disastrous type mistake by Otterbein defensively. But freshman Matt Metgerzik did not come up with the ball. So the Jackets go back defensively, where they are still actually under their season average for goals. Speaking of saves, how did DeZono chest that one up? Mesh on the offensive end after a brilliant save. DeZono really hearing it from the home fans. They are proud of his effort. Brock Riemenschneider hasn't featured quite as prominently tonight as he has in some other games. He still played well, but he's been the focal point several other times in conference play, and tonight he scored once, but that's about it. It's really been Nanoski and then a team effort. Early fourth quarter, and with every ticking second, hope slipping away from the Otterbein Cardinals. Should Otterbein lose, they are in a tough spot. Nanoski tried to bounce one in, and it slipped off the pole. Still with BW. A second loss in the OAC before Otterbein plays Northern or Carroll could be disastrous for them and puts them in a really tough position going into the final week of the regular season. One of the top teams in the OAC in Otterbein, they might not even qualify for the conference tournament. Andrews puts it in! Derek Andrews has the only 2 second-half goals. That one off balance, but effective. 11-4. Otterbein seemed to have a little bit of hope in that second quarter. Even though the scoreboard wasn't quickly enough moving in their direction, it seemed like they were starting to generate some better looks on the offensive end, and their defense was shoring up a bit as Fiorito wins yet another faceoff. But boy, this second half has been dominated by the Jackets defense. BW on the offensive end. They have won 11 of the 19 faceoffs tonight. Fiorito checks out. The faceoff specialist gives away to Judson Houston, who is back on. Each team with 17 ground balls. BW +7 in shots and +13 in shots on goal. Otterbein has not scored in several minutes. 1:39 left second quarter when Connor Jevitt last put one in for Otterbein. Griffin Dunkel, he's got a 2-goal night. Entered the game with only 5 goals all season. Got it here, gives it away. High scoring area, Kubiak denied, then checked. Dunkel for the hat trick, you betcha! He is fired up, and BW is running away with it at 12-4. Fourteen seniors for Baldwin Wallace playing in their final regular season home game tonight, and it's been a memorable one. Senior class includes Josiah Grieve, Andrew Spiker, Joey Brisky, Jared Gilliam, Alex Fiorito, Riley Morse, Corey Griffith, Dominic Horvath, Austin Peppo, Josh Peipenberg, Michael Dickey, Brian Musial, James Wilhelm, and Nick DePasquale. Those 14 seniors have done a tremendous job. They would love to end their career with an OAC championship as Otterbein picks up the ground ball. There is still work to be done in that regard, but BW is playing some of their best lacrosse as the season has wound toward the end of its regular schedule. If the Jackets win tonight, they are more than likely going to be the 2 seed. But it's not a guarantee. If they are the 2 seed, then they will host an OAC semifinal game. But some of those scenarios will still take a little while to play out because where BW only has 1 game left, several teams still have 2 games remaining. That's because there are only 9 schools that currently compete in varsity lacrosse. Marietta, the only school that doesn't, and they will add it in the year 2019. Good defense from BW, denies Otterbein any look there. Gombita passes up top. Spengola gets it back from Brendel. A low pass redirected. Not really any touches for Jevitt, who is the top offensive threat in the conference. Josiah Grieve is defending him exceptionally well. Pass came from Swartz to the near side now. Gombita. Couple of high screeners. Gombita just can't slip by any of them. Sanfilippo's had a nice game. Couple of good fakes, but Dickey stays with him. Finally, Jevitt gets part of the action, and he puts it off of Grieve's leg. And Josiah Grieve hustles to the near sideline. After taking one off the shin, he gets the ball back. And you can tell that didn't feel good. Gilliam gives it away, a couple quick passes. Raymond Schneider protects the ball as best he can. Matt McDowell with under 8 minutes to go in regulation. McDowell still possesses, then finally gives it up. Andrews with a couple of goals in the second half. He's got 2 goals on 5 shots in total tonight. McDowell still behind the cage. Pass deflected on the way to the top, and Chad Steinwalk's had his stick knocked out of his hand. As the ball goes out of bounds, it will go to Otterbein. Signaled by the back official. Cardinals need to step on it quickly. They're down 8 goals with now less than 7 minutes left in the game. Only one of their 4 goals was DeZono's fault, and he would tell you that. Good pass into a tight scoring area, but the shot goes wide. DeZono ran all the way up on the offensive end. Otterbein got the ball back, and Sanfilippo just threw a missile into the back of the cage from more than 30 yards away. It was a tremendous shot. But other than that, Otterbein really hasn't had a chance to do much. One of their goals came in transition. For the most part, BW's national scoring leading defense has held up against an Otterbein team that scores more than 13 goals per game. And they're at 4 tonight. If they don't score again, this will be the fewest goals they've scored all season. They lost the opening game of the year 20-5 at Ohio Wesleyan, who's having a really nice year. Otterbein with under 6 minutes to play. Sanfilippo. Oh, McDevitt. I beg your pardon, Connor Jevitt. Missed it wide to the right. Another quick touch pass from Sanfilippo to Jevitt. It's happened a couple times tonight. Pass goes up top, an open shot, and it's up and away. Missed there by Swartz. The Otterbein goals, 2 from Jevitt on 8 shots. Sanfilippo, 1 goal, 2 assists. He's only taken 1 shot. He's had a nice night with 5 ground balls. And Anthony Spingola as the 4th goal. Great defense. Gilliam just went straight up into Charlie Lachelle's grill and knocked it free from the freshman out of Indiana. On the other end, Mesh keeps his balance, but he can't finish the sweet play. BW ball with just over 5 minutes to go in what is starting to feel like a foregone conclusion. The Jackets scored the first 6 goals of the game. They had a 6-0 lead 20 seconds into the second quarter, and they've never looked back. That ball bounced towards Steinwalks, and as he can't possess it back, it goes to Otterbein. Nanoski was a big part of that opening surge. He scored 3 of the first 4. Griffin Dunkel has a hat trick tonight. 2 from Derek Andrews. McDowell, Riemenschneider, and Houston have all cashed in as well. This has been an impressive game for BW as Gilliam picks up another ground ball. That's an illegal screen from Gilliam, and Riemenschneider has to give it away. .411 left in regulation. Nice job by Steinwalks. He deflects the pass straight up into the air. And it's picked up by the Jackets. Brian Musial with the long stick. BW's ball movement has been pretty impressive tonight. Most of the time, their passes have been very accurate. Obviously, that's critical when you're trying to string together something nice on the offensive end. Gilliam leaves the field. Both teams at full strength on the offensive side for BW. Mesh on the run, and it's stick saved away. It stays with BW. Binner was hustling over there. And now it's lost out of bounds back to Otterbein. 12-4 Yellow Jackets with 3:09 left in the game. Baldwin Wallace finishes the regular season on the road. They are at Mount Union on Wednesday night, a 7:30 game against the Purple Raiders. BW is hoping to go to the postseason with a 12-2 mark into the conference tournament. In fact, there haven't been many teams nationally seasons quite as successful as BW. There's only one team left in all of D3 lacrosse that's undefeated. Bates College still has not lost. The OAC is very likely a one-bid conference for the national tournament. And last year when John Carroll won the OAC, they were annihilated on the national stage. And John Carroll was clearly one of the top teams in the conference. They won the conference tournament, so they went to the national playoffs. But again, they were absolutely drilled in the postseason. BW in front. It's Brock Riemenschneider. How did he miss from such an easy angle? Unlike Riemenschneider, who almost always scores from there. Crowd comes alive with 2 minutes to play. Otterbein picks it up. They're on the attack, led by Sanfilippo. Oh, Jake Tegan lost his footing. Actually, I beg your pardon, that was Justin McKee who kind of fell down. Nice shot and a score from Anthony Spingola, who fell down as he shot it. And Otterbein's only second half goal comes with 1:43 left to go in the game. So anyways, it's unlikely that there would be a second team out of the OAC to make the national playoffs. It just puts that much more pressure on everybody to win the tournament. (12-5) with $1:43 to play in the regulation. Nice hustle. Usio gets to it. Baldwin Wallace will not pitch a shutout here in the second half. I wonder if Mesh maybe started to lose that one in the lights a little bit as it deflected off the pocket and popped free. But then jarred out by James Wilhelm. And a foul on Otterbein gives it back. Steinwalks with 1:12. Baldwin Wallace will go to 11-2. They'll be 6-1 in the OAC. And with just one game left, they will very likely have a home game in the OAC tournament, but it's not guaranteed. They need to go to Mount Union and win in order to guarantee that. If John Carroll wins out, they'll be the #1 seed. They are undefeated. John Carroll closes the regular season at Otterbein. Nifty behind the back pass by Isley. 32 seconds left. Baldwin Wallace lets it roll out of bounds. It stays with Otterbein. Boy, that pass from Isley was slick. Jackets take it away. Thrown up the field with 12 seconds to go, and that will pretty much do it. Riemenschneider can just hold the ball. BW pretty riled up over on the sideline, as they should be. A tremendous game in goal by Mike DeZono. Mike Nanoski with 4 early goals. And the Yellow Jackets stun Otterbein 12-5. BW was the favorite coming in, but I don't think Otterbein expected to go down and be nearly shut out in the second half. And the Cardinals' postseason tournament hopes are on life support. They need major help in the final week of the regular season. Baldwin Wallace 6-1 in conference play. Otterbein falls for just the second time in the OAC. That will be our final regular season men's lacrosse broadcast. Again, we hope to have a game for you in the OAC tournament, but we'll have to see how the results come out before we can guarantee that. We do have a women's game on Wednesday night. They will host the Mount Union Purple Raiders, and we certainly hope you join us for that one. Until Wednesday, I'm Brendan Gulick. So long from Tressel Field at George Finnie Stadium. where the Yellow Jackets pull off a big-time win over Otterbein, 12-5. They go to 11-2 on the season. Otterbein falls to 7-8. Have a great weekend, everybody.